Okay, well, doesn't appear it's going to happen. I agree with Monica's observation that the internet is really an emporium of devices and content, an observation made by Richard Hooper. People are now accessing news, information, entertainment, education, geolocation, directions, home management, shopping, translations, many services on and across multiple screens, devices, and platforms. It's an age of ubiquitous information. But information in abundance does not equate to plurality or diversity of content. We're in the age of internet empires. It is said that North America belongs to Google and that Monica's Facebook controls the Middle East. USA, China, the EU constitute a data troika, presiding over 3 distinct data realms, opening up a new digital divide between themselves and all others who are rule takers. So the digital ecosystem is unquestionably one that is rich in content, but I would submit poor in diversity. 48% of the world's population is excluded, and the entire continent of Africa accounts for only 11% of all internet users. This is partly due to lack of infrastructure, as we heard yesterday when we spoke about connectivity. But research has shown that low cultural acceptance and unavailability of local content are actually greater barriers to internet penetration and use than lack of infrastructure. There is also a problem when we talk about so-called local content. Increasingly, we have to get very granular because we are finding that there is content being produced and moderated by non-local people being counted as local content when we want to talk about diversity and plurality, illustrated by the fact that between 2012 and 2017 on Wikipedia, there was a dramatic increase in content about Africa. But when we got granular, it was found that the content was being produced by people in North America and Europe rather than Africa itself. Ethnic and linguistic divides are also significant. According to the World Bank, 80% of online content is presented in 1 of 10 languages, but 50% of the world's population do not speak or understand any of those languages. Moreover, in excess of 50% of all online content is in English, a language that is understood by only about 21% of the world's population. And by deduction, the situation must be more stark when we include local indigenous languages. Another challenge to pluralism in the online space is that technology companies, Google, YouTube, Facebook, Netflix, etc., they control the places on the internet where we gather and connect. And the result of this disproportionate power is the risk of automated content discrimination at the level of the individual citizen and people operating in closed loops. The platforms are also highly concentrated. It has been estimated that the world's 4 largest public cloud companies, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, IBM Cloud, and Google control over 61% of the public cloud. The largest social media platforms are also concentrated with common ownership. Facebook, the tech company with the most users, 2 billion plus, owns WhatsApp, which has the third largest number of users. Facebook also owns Instagram, which has 1 billion users. 77% of all internet searches are conducted on Google, which owns YouTube, the second largest social media platform with 1.9 billion users. So in conclusion, I want to point out that I do not have a problem with the topic for this session, but I see its premise as an ideal and aspirational. For the moment, the digital world is binary, not sufficiently diverse. This was a view expressed by delegates at a June 2018 UNESCO conference on tangible and intangible impact of information and communication in the digital age. They signaled a concern about the language of the internet as a barrier to access. A declaration drafted at the close of the conference warned of the danger of the dehumanizing nature of technology, which effectively excludes people from generating meanings and values and turns them into functional supplements to communication flows. A part of the solution, therefore, is global attention to a linguistically more diverse internet and open access to communication online. As Amy O'Donnell, the ICT program lead at Oxfam, observes, focus needs to shift from accessibility, which we spent a lot of time on yesterday, to the meaningful use of the internet. In my words, there should be enlightened access, meaning content to build digital literacy, serve local needs, and preserve sociocultural diversity. Now, there is absolutely one thing that must be done to make this possible. Of course, I don't know what that one thing is. I just wanted to impress Chris. I thought that would sound smart, so I put it in. Thank you very much.